money works this way, money works this way. I said we have to reprogram that you deserve to accomplish your goals and dreams.
Yeah.
Instead of being told for 51 years you can't accomplish it. I mean, this couple, they just did their first family vacation in 15 years.
Wow.
Whoa. Welcome back to the Renatus JAM. My name is Jay Stark, and joining me, as always, is my fearless co-host,
Mr. Matt Snyder.
Mr. Matt Snyder.
How you doing, Jay?
Dude, if I was doing any better, I might look a little bit more like you.
That's a lie. Bald-faced lie.
I am doing freaking fantastic.
We do not lie on this podcast.
I'm not lying.
All right.
I am doing fantastic.
Well, good.
Do you know why I'm doing fantastic?
Why are you doing good?
Because
fantastic.
I'm doing fantastic. There we go. It's because we are now in full prep mode of the E3 Summit.
Yes, we are.
And I am happy to announce on the podcast that the registration for the E3 Summit is now live.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, make sure that you get registered as soon as you possibly can. We have limited seating in both the general admission and the VIP. Now, general admission, you're going to get the 3 days of incredible content, as well as access to the exclusive networking events the Wednesday night before, the Thursday and the Friday night. And then you're also going to have an opportunity to mastermind with the other people that are in the room. Special time will be made so that you have that opportunity to absorb as much information as possible, as well as to invite your guests and make sure that they have an incredible experience at the E3 Summit. And then we have our VIP opportunity.
What do they get to do?
Well, so VIP gets not only a reserved section for seating right up front, but then each of the 3 days, they're going to be included in a special luncheon where they're going to have access to all of that day's presenters in a very small group networking opportunity.
Dang, man.
So we're going to have all of the PAC
cool.
members. We're going to have all of the presenters there each of the days to join us in that small, intimate group, along with me, Bob, you, and we're gonna give every single VIP the opportunity to come and network with us in those closed door, very small group, exclusive
lunch.
Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
Yes.
I like that. That sounds awesome.
It's gonna be awesome. So what I'd like to do right now is have Aaron run our promo for this E3.
We have got an incredible weekend planned for you. The conference theme is E3 because it's all about educate, equip, engage. It's exactly what you're going to experience over the next 3 days.
I joined Renatus and I got educated.
Join the community, take the classes.
Knowledge is unequivocally power.
We want to empower you with the knowledge, the tools, the systems, the understanding to go out there and crush it in today's real estate market. We're going to show you how that happens.
And I was able to go out and start building my own empire, my own company, and building a future for me and my family.
As they get into the deals, as they build wealth, as they create passive income, as they build the generational wealth, it's always worth it.
Totally change and transform not only your life, passive income, fix and flip, whatever it is you want to do.
Start applying them in your business and in your life immediately and see the changes that you can create in the world.
How about that? You still feeling good?
Renatus is not just an educational company, it is a community of like-minded entrepreneurs and investors all across the country.
You can build it, you can do it. Let us help you with a community that will support you all along the way.
But this community has become family, and that is when friends become family.
One of my favorite parts of our entire conference, getting to hear everybody's story.
We have done over 20 deals now.
And Renatus rocks.
We have deals number 11, 12, and 13 under contract.
Done about 8 deals.
3 houses, 2 subject to, 1 lease option, landed a contract to build 58 houses in a bankrupt subdivision.
I've done 8 deals, and Renatus is definitely worth it.
A little over 250 deals. Renatus is absolutely worth it.
I've done 20 deals.
I've done 17 deals.
We've done about 7 deals.
I've been involved in over 100 transactions, 100 deals.
I've done 47 deals.
We have done over 250 deals.
That community, the people in our groups really empower you.
We need to expand belief, elevate expectations, and empower behavior inside of us.
And when that happens, boom, the floodgates open up and everything just starts to change.
Wealth building skills, passive income strategies, and the future of security.
We celebrate one another, we edify one another, and we empower each other.
This is empowering. I'm sleeping better already.
So, Matt, what are you most looking forward to at the E3 Summit?
Man, the last one was such a good event that it was like unbeatable. You know what I mean? So the bar is so high for this because the last one was the best of all of our, if I were to like rate it against our national conferences.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I mean, the energy, especially just the fact that we had like brand new guests was really fun for me, and getting to meet brand new people and see and experience things through their eyes. Yep. I really enjoyed that.
Me too.
Do not bring your people down. You're going to want to
not bring your people.
Yeah.
So make sure you bring all the people.
Bring all the people. Yeah, it was a double negative. You can do that.
You can, but
do whatever I want.
It's breaking the rules.
Don't tell me. Okay.
So here's the deal. I feel like we have created the new format for the high jump.
Yeah.
Right? Do you remember when the very first guy, and you remember as a, it was way back in the day.
Like it was yesterday.
So the very first guy that started doing the high jump backwards, everybody laughed at him. They thought that he was nuts. Mm-hmm. And now it's become the standard.
Yeah, it's the only way to do it.
Because everybody can jump higher.
Yeah.
So after he set the world record by going backwards, everybody started paying attention. I feel like we have just set the new record. We have just created a whole new pattern, a new process for hosting the E3 Summit. We're going backwards now. Mm-hmm. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to just keep ratcheting that bar higher and higher and higher.
I totally agree. I mean, making it real estate oriented was definitely the way.
Yeah.
That was smart. And, and I can see it, especially in hindsight now that it's done. And it's like, yeah, we really outdid ourselves on this.
Yeah,
it was the way.
We've got 25 presenters that are going to be there. 15 of those are Renatus instructors. And they're all going to be there sharing their knowledge, sharing their experience, things that are working in today's real estate market.
Yeah. That's why it was so good.
Yeah.
That's really, you hit the nail on the head. That's why it was. It was a whole bunch of instructors that are currently and actively doing what they're talking about right now, and they did it so well.
Yeah.
Like it was just so many, like, and nobody was getting up there sharing fluff, which I hate. I think we all do.
Right.
Like it's, you see it when it comes to real estate education. I've seen a lot of fluff, and I want substance. I want somebody to get up there,
nuts and bolts, processes.
And they had a short time, maybe half hour, 45 minutes to just give you what they've got. And it was so good and so informative, which is why the energy was so high, is because people aren't just sitting there getting, impractical fluff kind of information. They're getting really good stuff.
Yeah.
And so they're excited about it.
My favorite part is that we have these practitioner instructors. We call them that because they are making their full-time living literally doing what they're teaching about, right? They are not professional sales guys. They're not back of the room, high pressure, hey, buy now or else. Mm-hmm. They are practitioners, individuals out there doing it every single day. And we don't cover one strategy. We cover 15 different strategies. That's why we have 15 different presenters. Yeah. And that's just at this one E3. That's not the whole library of Renatus education. That is just a sampling of the Renatus education.
What is our library? It's like 80.
We're at 93 classes, I believe.
Jeez.
And 41 practitioner instructors, something like that. So we're literally only bringing 15 15 practitioner instructors to the stage. They're only going to have, as you said, 30, 45 minutes apiece. So they're going to focus down onto the most impactful information that they can give right out of the gate, because that's why they do it. They do it so that they can share their knowledge and their experience to the empowerment of every single participant.
Which I want you to imagine as an ICM, bringing your guests down, putting their butts in those seats, and then that is what they see. Is 15 practitioner instructors get up there and just give them the real, meat.
So here's the part that I think is crazy. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
So I've been looking at several other events that are hosted by these gurus, right? These guys that have one strategy, two strategies, right. And then maybe they're going to include a couple of other speakers, but they're all high pressure, back of the room sales kinds of presentations. Mm-hmm. And they will charge, I have seen anywhere from $497 for a one-day event, all the way up to, I think the top of the mark that I've seen is $15,000 for a 2-day event for something that has much less breadth and depth than what we're offering over these 3 days. And we're charging $197 for it. That's the early bird discount.
Yep.
And I mean, it's going to be, we're going downtown Salt Lake. So there's going to be everything within walking distance as far as accommodations and whatever else that anyone's looking to do. But it is just, I can't stress enough the level of impact that we made with the last one and how this one's going to be even greater.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. This one's going to be a good one.
This is going to be fun. And so everybody has a very clear picture, Matt's favorite part, the thing he's most looking forward to doing at the E3 Summit is hanging out with yours truly. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was, I didn't want there to be any level of confusion there.
I get to come to the lunch.
You do.
Yes.
You're invited.
Yes. All right. I'll be there.
All right. With no further ado.
Yeah.
We have a special guest with us today.
We do. We have a very special guest.
Very special
guest. One of my favorites. Yeah. Although he's slightly less of a favorite of mine now because he didn't wear a black shirt this podcast like he always does.
You know what? I'm not going to be offended by the color of his shirt because I just appreciate him being here at all.
Okay.
That's why I am the loved one.
We have Richard Stock.
Yes, we do.
On the Renatus JAM for the fourth time, is it?
I don't know.
Probably fourth.
Live in the studio with
us. So good to have you here. You're probably the top income earner for this month right now, above the pack. So I'm going to say it, right? Pack top income earner of June. Yes.
I think he's the top income earner for June. He
might
even be in competition for top income earner of the year.
Yeah, buddy.
Not that I'm, disclosing anything that I shouldn't.
He's out here killing it.
He is absolutely lighting it up. But the part that's really cool is to see the number of lives that you inspire. The people that are so ready to follow you because of the way that you are service oriented, the way that you continue to give of yourself, your time, energy, and efforts to train and empower them. And then the fact that you have one of the best closing ratios I have ever even heard of. The way that you can sit down one-on-one with individuals and create a level of belief in their minds where they can no longer see their lives moving forward successfully without the Renatus education. It's awesome.
Yeah,
it is.
It is.
I love what we do.
You're really good at it.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So tell me really quickly from your perspective, because as a PAC member, I mean, you've been on you started as the Fab back in 2011, and you've been on the PAC ever since, right? Since from the very beginning. You are one of the most seasoned PAC members. I think there's 3 of you now that have been on the PAC since the very beginning. Mm-hmm. And you have been a top income earner. You've been a team leader, a service-oriented. What's some of the biggest mistakes that ICMs make as they first get started?
Talk way too much.
Overshare.
I mean, there really is. When it comes to the brand new person, I think the best way I can describe it is they try to look too cool for school. They overcomplicate it. They talk people right in, right out, instead of making it very simple, making it very complicated. So what I like doing with my new people, that are coming in, the people I work with is, I think when it comes to sales, a lot of people are accustomed to a tangible product.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go spend $20 for a shirt, I walk away with the shirt.
Yep.
If I go spend $30,000 on, a white F-150 truck, then guess what? I walk away with the keys in the F-150 truck, and I got a loan payment or whatever it is.
Yeah.
When someone buys Renatus, what do they get?
They get education, but I see exactly where you're going.
It's not a tangible product.
Right.
It's intangible. So many people are accustomed to going and buying something and walking away with it.
Mm-hmm.
So we help our people learn how to take something that's a non-tangible educational system and make it tangible as soon as they possibly can. Because as soon as someone says, hey, like literally this last 2 weeks had someone just sign up. They've been in 2 weeks. Their first order is going in today, all in order, credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
Best part is they will be in less than a month. They got the education on the HELOC. Their education, they don't have a monthly payment for 2 months. They were going to save over 20 years on their mortgage.
And that's awesome.
So they've been in 2 weeks, and they had someone, that was babysitting their, their little boy, and they're like, where are you going on Tuesday night? It's like, well, hey, we're going here. You should come check it out.
Mm-hmm.
They came down to a house tour. They came to cash flow, order in the system.
Doesn't that create a problem? They just lost their babysitter?
No, because they have 7 kids. So there's still plenty of kids to watch their kids. And so it's really, when I say people overcomplicate it, they try to say, we have all these instructors. We have all these classes. We have all of this.
Yeah, just come check it out.
Instead of making it very simple. Hey, we just learned how to save 15 years on our mortgage. You should come check this out.
Yeah.
Because that is something tangible. When they see Velocity Banking, they can implement it within a week or 2 weeks.
Well, they can put their own numbers in the calculator.
They see the results.
They can see what it looked like for their situation.
And now it's like, holy crap, this is tangible. Like, I just did it. I looked at my amortization schedule. I just saved a month and a half on my mortgage.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they realize they keep doing that, becomes tangible. They're like, we're making money within their first month.
Dude, I
or
love
saving
that.
money in taxes. So
I
that's
love
where we
that.
go to create that belief, make it simple, and go from there.
And making the intangible tangible for them.
Because that's what people want. How's this making me money now? How can I save money in taxes now? How can I get out of debt faster now?
Right.
So it's fun.
Yeah, you got to take those steps right away. And I found that if people don't actually take those steps right away and they kind of put it off, they'll end up almost putting it off indefinitely.
They tend to run out of steam.
Yeah, it's like you got to take action. You got to go get the education, then start. Don't delay.
Yeah, make it tangible as fast as they can. As long as it's tangible, they're staying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. When you see that difference happen, when you save money on your taxes, or you save time on your time and interest on your mortgage, right? Like that is tangible. That changes your belief and your understanding of what you just got, and now you're off to the races because people start to branch out.
Well, and they get that belief check within 30 days.
Yep.
They're here for good.
So everything that you're talking about, it really revolves around mindset, right? Somebody's got to be able to reframe their mindset, retrain themselves to seeing how that value is being created in their lives. What are some of the elements that help to encourage that mindset shift?
I think it's helping people understand. So like the couple I was meeting with earlier today, he's 50. He's almost 51.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gone through some crap in his life. And he's like, what's going to be the hardest part of me coming and getting started? I said, you have 51 years of programming. We have to start reprogramming.
Mm-hmm.
You've been taught for 51 years, money works this way, money works this way, money works this way. I said, we have to reprogram that you deserve to accomplish your goals and dreams.
Yeah.
Instead of being told for 51 years, you can't accomplish it. I mean, this couple, they just did their first family vacation in 15 years.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's nuts.
And they did that 2 weeks ago. That's why it took an extra 2 weeks to put the order in. Or it would have been in 2 weeks ago,
cool
right?
They're finally getting that.
Yeah, so and I'm like, we got 51 years. We have to reprogram subconsciously that you deserve to be able to do this.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, how do we do it? And I said, here's how I looked at personal development when I started. I'd see people go to a Tony Robbins seminar or some seminar. They'd come back for a week. They'd be jacked up. And then the next week, they were more miserable than they were the week before they left. Right? And I'm like, it's just the way it happens. I said, I thought personal development was crazy.
Yeah.
Until I dug into it and I was doing it every day. And I said, it was about 6 months to 9 months into it where I noticed I started thinking differently. When I read, there was a couple books I read that changed a lot of it. Shoe Dog. The story of Nike with Phil Knight.
Yeah.
How many times did Nike about go under? How many times did he order millions of dollars of shoes knowing it was going to take 5 to 6 months to get there because you could do wire transfers and stuff back, 50 years ago, couldn't do it. And he knew shoes were being shipped and he didn't even have the money yet, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he was finding a way to get it done. How many times did that go under? How many times, have all these companies that we hear of that have been so successful, they about went under, but they kept on pushing. The entrepreneurial roller coaster by, I think it's Darren Hardy, who's did that one, right? Mm-hmm. When we start realizing these people who have about lost it multiple times that are now big names, the only thing that was different is they kept pushing with consistency, diligence, persistence, and realizing it was going to work out. So I encourage all my people when they come down, first day, 15 minutes personal development. I don't care what it is, something to get into the subconscious that we can go out and do it. Get into drive, understand the power of drive, understand how drive's so incredible, right? Mm-hmm. And so even with this person, as I was working with them, this next week, I actually strongly encourage them to go watch Drive for Communication, Drive for Development.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, because of everything this individual's gone through in their lives and where they're at. And I'm like, hey, doing this, you're going to understand it. When you have those bad days, how literally within 10, 15 minutes, you can go from bad, being that very external, to being very internal and go crush it again. And so it's understanding what that is, personal development. Once we're internal, we crush it.
That's awesome.
That is fantastic. Do these people you're working with, do they recognize that they've been stuck in that kind of old thinking? Do they see it yet?
This individual, when I met with them last week, he just broke down in tears.
How come?
Almost 51 years old. First time in his life he's ever had hope.
Jeez.
Wow.
Feeling like an absolute failure as a husband. Like, their story is so, he's gone through so much in his life.
Yeah.
Making 6 figures.
Yeah.
But they have no tax write-offs. So he's getting killed in taxes.
Yeah.
He's like, we should be living a great life, but we're literally $100, $200 a month one way or another.
Oh, ouch.
Like, how are we going to pay for a new fence?
Yep.
How are we going to pay to have this section of the fence repaired, right? And it's just one of those where they realize he's just like, something has to change. He's like, everything we've done hasn't worked. Everything I was told my whole life hasn't worked. And now you give me hope. And so it's helping people realize that. It's listening to what people say. And when we actually listen to what they say, instead of pushing our agenda out there, they'll tell us everything we need to know if we listen.
Of course.
And so that was the cool, and it's cool when they actually see the light saying, you can do this. Yeah. Don't promise them they can do it in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. He asked me, he's like, how long is it going to take me to do a transaction? I'm like, I don't know. It could be 90 days. It could be 12 months. It could be 2 years.
Yeah.
It could be 3 years.
Yep.
But I was like, it's not how fast can you do a transaction. It's how fast can you do the right transaction.
Yes. Oh,
and
so much.
Instilling that belief in them. And now, they have a battle buddy to do this with because, their family member brought them in. Like, all of these things is saying, you plug in, you do the personal development, you do this, you will succeed. And then he's like, well, how? I don't know. Where's your pen?
My pen?
Yeah. This one right here.
Oh, okay. It's not a real pen.
No, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
So here's what I did. I gave this example.
Yeah.
Mac, try to grab the pen. No, don't grab the pen. Try to grab the pen.
Try to?
No, Try to grab the pen. No, don't grab the pen. Try to grab it. Try. You weren't trying, right? So I did this example with him. He's like, well, if I grab it, and I said, that's the thing. When it comes to this, you're either going to do it or you aren't.
Yep.
And I said, if I hear you say you're going to try this one more time, I will not let you sign up. He's like, what do you think? And I said, you're either going to do it or you aren't. There's no trying with what we do.
It is true.
And so that's how we help them start understanding we got to get out of this mindset. This is going to be a positive mindset. This is going to be a wealth creation mindset. Yep. I don't care if it takes a year. I don't care if it takes 2 years, 3 years. We're going to plug in. We're going to get this done because you have your wife right here who's been supporting you the whole time. And both of you know you want a better life. And it was beautiful.
Yeah,
the follow-ups are beautiful when
it clicks
up and it clicks. It's like, because now I'm not selling.
No.
I'm not selling. I'm helping them realize their potential with what they can do.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how do new ICMs create lead sources?
Say hello.
Open their mouth.
I mean, that's literally, it's opening their mouth. That's hello. It's
funny.
Hi. I mean, it sounds basic, but there's a couple things that I've done because June's been, a decent month, right? But here's what it really is when I look at it is just saying hi. Don't talk to people trying to sell them. Listen. Every person we talk to, if we listen to what they're saying, they are going to tell us the struggles they have in their life. They're going to tell us. Now, it might not be every time, but if we listen to the people that we're talking to, they're going to tell us there's a struggle. There's something that's happening. If we listen and we take what they do, we're just lining our tool belts with everything they're saying they want to change. And so it's just like, hey, you know what? I know the last couple times we've talked about it. You've been saying, hey, you wish your husband was here because he's working a full-time job and a part-time job. Want to spend more time with the kids. I mean, I'm just curious. Have you guys ever considered looking at real estate as a possibility? Have you ever considered, and I know it's not any of my business, but do you ever feel like you pay too much in taxes? Oh, yeah, we're getting killed in taxes.
Yeah.
I'd love to do a fix and flip. Yeah. 15, and I ask this thing all the time. Do you wish, how different would your life be if 15 years ago you bought 10 homes?
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
So what are you going to be saying? And it's literally just those little conversations that open it up to invite people down. But we can't go as a used car salesman with an agenda that I'm going to push this on somebody.
Right.
Listen to what they say. And then I focused on 3 to 5 lead sources at all times.
It's so interesting to me. You recommended once upon a time that I read the book Build Your Empire by Brian Carruthers.
Awesome book.
Phenomenal book. But in there, he talks about how the leader needs to lead from the front, that they need to be doing the activities that they are promoting to everybody else, and they need to be doing them better and more proficiently. And that's one thing about you that I have always loved and respected is that you are out there building your own business at the same time as supporting everybody else that plugs into your events and your meetings. How do you balance that? How do you find that right balance between building your own business and supporting other people and building theirs?
Isn't it the same?
Yeah. Thanks to the comp plan.
I mean, that's the way I look at it. I mean, the way I balance it, because there is no balance. So let's be real. There is no balance.
Right.
But the way I try to build my business is I look and say, what would Bob Snyder have me do? Last night, we were at a house tour. Someone's like, my 5-star won't help me with follow-up. They're like 6th level to me. I said, so when do you want to do a follow-up? She's like, you'll help me? And I'm like, yes. Why wouldn't I help you? Because I'm not going on that story. I'll start crying. That's a cool one, by the way. Awesome one. Cool story with this lady.
Well, tell us.
No, I can't. I'll start crying and she'll be mad if I say it without her permission.
Okay. All right.
But I look at it and I'm like, the more I help her, even though she's completely under me, she will billed for my events. She's told her story twice. Last night, she started crying, sharing her story in front of everybody. And then she was mad at me. She's like, you made me cry. And I'm like, but your story is helping other people who are here. And I said, the more you share your story, that's going to affect my guest. That's going to affect so-and-so's guest. I said, the more we share the stories, the more, yes, I might not get paid on anything that you do, but your story will help my prospects. So I always look, what would Bob Snyder want me to do, especially as a PAC member? It is helping anybody, whether I get an override or not. Now, sometimes, can that get extremely overwhelming? Absolutely. There's been weeks I've done 7, 10, 15 follow-ups for people who aren't underneath me.
Yeah.
Right? That are under somebody else. But I'm like, what would Bob want me to do?
Yeah.
How would Bob want me to represent the company? Realizing that if I do that, I know what they're going to say about me. I know how they will edify me, get more butts in seats. More butts in seats helps everybody make more money. So to me, it's the same.
I love that. You literally just gave an example of a rising tide raises all ships, right? Saying that, hey, anything I can do to help the tide increase, I'm going to do, because I know that a rising tide raises all ships. And that also makes you an authentic and a considerate leader by being willing to serve any person that shows up at your event and say, yeah, let's do it together. You bring your guest, I'm absolutely going to do what I can to help you. You're not sitting there questioning, hey, are you paying me for this? Am I getting paid for this? I love that. That is true servant leadership.
Well, and if we don't make sales, you don't have a company. Right? Sure. So the more sales we can get in, the more it helps, more let's expand, let's just go do more things. And when you also realize you don't do it for the money, you do it for the love of helping other people, and all money is black and green ink on white paper. Doesn't make you more of who you are or less of who you are. You know, it's a beautiful thing. And I'm blessed to be around where I live some very wealthy individuals that they just serve and they just help because that's what they want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Love the people, use the money, not vice versa.
Don't use the people and love the money, because I can tell you this, people can tell, and that creates problems.
Yeah. So a couple other things that I really want to cover with you. One is just kind of more of a logistical issue. I noticed that we've been having more and more guests showing up at events, and sometimes the check-ins happen, or maybe it's not happening quite the way that people expect it to. Walk us through the importance of guest protection and what kind of recommendation you give to your ICMs in protecting their guests.
Okay, so hopefully I can answer it this way and be okay. The way that I look at it is this. When I have a new ICM, a new person building, I say, if you have someone coming to the event, call me. We need to make sure they're registered, right? So then, because if they, I look at one of my ICMs, they're like, I'm never going to market, right? The lady we were talking about earlier, Tracy's granny, she's like, I'm awesome. She's awesome now, right? She's like, I'm never going to market. I said, that's fine. You don't have to market. We're going to put you in the witness protection program. You never have to tell a soul, right? You don't tell anybody about it. She called me back was about a month later. She's like, I have a problem. I'm like, what's the problem? She's like, I have a guest coming tonight. I said, sorry, they can't come. She's like, what do you mean they can't come? I'm like, you're in the secret witness protection program, right? And so
forgot the first rule of Fight Club.
You forgot this, right? So what I did is, and what I help people with is say, hey, if you have someone coming down, because if they don't have a guest coming down, I'm not going to spend a ton of time with them, because they don't even know if they want to market or not, right? I'm not going to go through and say, hey, this is how you log in your guest. Say, if you have a guest coming, call me so we can help them get registered. So then they call me, and then I walk them through how to do it, right? Because I also want to know this. If they're bringing people down, I want to be looking out for them, so I know who to go up and introduce myself. And when I go up and say hi to them, the ICM turns around, edifies me, which is a great thing for me too, especially if we're going to be helping them. So that's the way I do it, because The other, I'm just going to say this, it causes problems.
Gotcha.
It causes hurt feelings. Here's the worst part about it. There's 2 reasons people don't build for events. There's no trust, and people don't feel safe. If people don't feel safe bringing guests down, they will not invite guests down.
Yep.
So I train it the other way. You have someone new coming down, call me. Let's walk you through the process.
That's awesome. So your recommendation is getting people protected immediately. As soon as you know they're coming to an event, get them protected.
Yes.
And then whose responsibility is it to make sure that they get checked into the event?
Okay, so last night we had a house tour. We had someone out front. They had a clipboard, just having people sign in as they came in. Mm-hmm. When the event was over, my guy who had the clipboard, he went home. He's a registrar. He checked everybody that's in.
Beautiful.
Now, that's how we do it.
Right.
Now, are there those people who came down who weren't registered? Yes.
Yeah, they show up. And you gotta walk.
So that's a walk up with it.
Yep.
So I instructed that person, hey, when the event's over, you need to call and tell that person what you like best about what you saw. Because the last thing that I want to do, and I mean, this has happened over the years when I've called and talked to one of you too, is, hey, I don't know who invited this guest down. Mm-hmm. What do we do with this situation, right? As a PAC member, the last thing I want is someone blaming me for stealing their guests.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
So even if we register them as a walk-up, someone's like, hey, you know what? My friend came down, sweet. Go in, release them, give it back to that person.
Right.
So that's what we try to do. Are we perfect with it? No. Are there ICMs who don't register their people no matter what? Yes.
Yeah.
I believe we just have to try to help them with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes people learn a painful lesson.
They do, because if they didn't have their person protected and that guest responds to another ad or talks to another person and then they come down to an event, you know, or even just get registered for a different event with somebody else, protection's going to go under that second individual who protected or registered them. So
and the information that we have to go off of is database driven.
Yes.
Who got the person first?
So if there's ever a question, you know, if both ICMs are fighting over the person or think that that guest belongs to them, we're going to look at the system and go, oh.
So one thing that I really wanted to just reemphasize with you then is that as an ICM, if I'm inviting guests down to an event, it's really on me. It would really behoove me to go in after the event to ensure that they were checked in properly to the event. And if they weren't, to contact the event host and say, hey, my guest showed up. They didn't get checked in. Can you help me out?
And then the other thing is, if I know someone had a guest there because they talked to me, mm-hmm. I will do the best I can to call up and say, hey, Matt, your guest Sarah was here tonight. This was my conversation.
Yeah.
So I try to reach out to them.
Yeah.
Try to be able to, because there's nothing worse than in limbo with guests, not knowing what's going on. So I always try to reach out. Now, it gets to a point where you can't do it, but I like to believe people will be honest in what they do. I want people to treat me honest. I'm going to do the same thing back to them.
Well, and see, that's the thing. As with all things in life, people rise or fall to your expectations. And so if you expect yourself to be honest and then expect your entire group to be honest, they're going to rise to that expectation. When they can rely on you, like as you said, you know, when they feel safe with you, knowing, hey, if something goes sideways, Richard's got my back, then they're going to continue to build. And if something goes sideways, they know it's a phone call and then it'll get fixed.
Yeah. And the other thing is if you're honest on what you do, light is light, truth is truth. Mm-hmm. The truth always comes out.
Yeah. Yep. So talk with us just really quick, because one thing that I feel like we could all use a refresher on or a reminder of is the Renatus comp plan. Tell us a little bit about the power of the comp plan in your life and the way that you've seen it in other people's lives.
Okay. Ooh, that's another fun one. Conversation I had driving up here. An individual was like, hey, this is the situation, and this is what I think I'm going to have to do. And I just said, why? They're like, because I don't know how to get out of it. right?
So a financial
looking at declaring,
situation.
financial situation. And I just said, you do. They're like, what do you mean? And I said, it's this simple. Get 2 people every Tuesday night. You get 2 people every Tuesday night. I know what my numbers are as I've looked with my ICMs, as I've looked with people, the events that I do on Tuesday night. Here's what I know. If they have 2 people to Tuesday night, so 8 people a month, that's one all-in order in the system.
Every month.
Every month.
Just based on the averages.
Obviously not a guarantee for that individual, but that's what your
that's what we have found tracking it. And obviously there's no guarantee, and I tell people that. But that's the average that we have. And this is an individual who knows the comp plan, who's been with this 10 plus years, right? Just going through some hell in their own life. And I said, that's it. I said, if you do that, what's the result in the next 18 months? They're like, I know. And then it went back. How do we generate more leads? How do we do this?
Right.
I said, it's the basics. 3 to 5 lead sources.
Yeah.
At all times. And so the comp plan will get us out of any situation if we put in the work, right?
Yeah.
Bring someone down. $4,300 first time if they go all in, right? Cash all in, $4,300.
You mean it for the brand new ICM?
Yeah,
just signed up.
Signed up yesterday. Like the guy, So they just signed up. They bring someone down next week. That person goes all in. It's $4,300. So I walk them through the power of it. I look, or as I'm working with them, I find out what one of their goals, one of their dreams are. Say, if you got 5-star qualified in the next 6 months, could that goal or dream become a reality? Yes.
Yeah, right.
Right. That's it. When I sit down, I say, okay, with Renatus, there's 3 ways to make money with Renatus. Number 1, all through real estate.
Yep.
Number 2, all through the business. Or like what I do, number 3 is both.
The hybrid.
Right? It's doing the hybrid thing. And when they realize that, and it's just a conversation, I can go and say, okay, for example, how soon would you like to have your home paid off? You owe $400,000 on your home. How soon would you like to have it paid off? 4 years. So you need to make about an additional $100,000 a year to have your home paid off. How would you like to do it? All through real estate? All through marketing? Marketing, it's 33 people.
Right.
Or do both, right? And literally show them the power of the compensation plan. I had one individual going back because they never followed up with their people. This goes back years ago, and I called Bob. I'm like, hey, Bob, I don't know who invited this down. I've talked to everybody on their team. They didn't invite this person down. And so after about a month, Bob said, put the order in. No one's responding. No one's doing it. Put the order in. Put the order in. That one person's paid me over $250,000.
Just because of people they brought down and sales that came from it? Is that what you mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
About 6 months later, the ICA came back and said, oh, that's who you meant?
Oh, no.
And I'm like, yes.
Oh, no.
He's like, so you're saying I should read your text messages?
Yeah,
I'm like,
probably.
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Right? Because when we show the power of the comp plan, if we help 3 people come in, buy the education, and then get 5-star qualified that year, we're over 6 figures. We're at 6 figures.
Yeah, because you said 33 people earlier, and I didn't.
So 33 people to get their house paid off in 5 years. 33 times 12,000.
I thought you were talking about like
so on that one,
that doesn't,
right? So that's how we do it that way. Now we help 3 people come in, so I find out what people's goals and dreams are. Or, because that's the easiest way if they don't understand drive, to find out what motivates them, if it's trips, if it's charity, if it's whatever it is, right? Financial security. What's that number? Now let's lay out a couple ways for you to achieve that. Then they start seeing the power of the compensation plan, and then they realize we can so easily, because of how Bob set it up, we just show them what it is, and the value is there. We don't have to do all this other stuff. They see it, they're like, sweet. If I help 12 people come down, go all in, I'm $100,000.
Yeah.
Then we do qualifying sales, and then there's this. Even if they aren't 5-star qualified, they're still going to be around $100,000. They're like, oh my goodness. So you're saying, Richard, if I bring one person every Tuesday or two people every Tuesday, and then they start seeing it, and then they try working it, and then they see it works, and they're like, okay, here it is. Because if we only get paid on what we do, we are self-employed.
Right.
The way we run a business with Renatus is duplication. When other people are bringing people down. So if I get skunked that week, last night I was supposed to have 3 people there. I had 1 person show up. But with people that owe qualifying sales and overrides and everything else, well, last night turned out to be a pretty dang good night because 3 orders are going in.
That's awesome.
Off of last night alone, right?
That's awesome.
So now it's like, okay, that's a business. Even if my person doesn't show up, we can still make money with what we do.
Yep.
So I don't want people to be self-employed. I want them to understand the power of duplication with the comp plan and say, here's how you can make $100,000 this year. Let's go do it. And then be there to support them, help them, make them feel safe, help them with the follow-ups, train them.
Man, that's awesome. I know when I first heard this comp plan, I was blown away with how simple it was, how easy it is to apply. But as somebody's getting qualified off of every single sale that they produce, they're making money. So right out of the gate, like you said, if you sell an all in, you're walking home with $4,300.
Yeah.
And you're 1-star qualified at that point.
So that's the people that signed up. They got paid on 2 weeks ago. They're putting in the all-in order today. They're getting paid $4,300.
That's awesome.
They did on their HELOC. Their next 2 years where the HELOC payments are basically paid for.
Oh, man, that's so cool.
And so when I was talking to him, he's like, you're right. I can literally do this with nothing coming out of my pocket on a monthly basis. I'm like, yep. And he's like, I love you, man. I'm like, let's go do it again, right?
Yeah.
Because people can do it, but we have to show them. And here's the one thing. I think people, this is my own personal opinion, people do not want to, they don't know how to answer in confidence, is this an MLM? That's why people don't bring up the comp plan.
Oh, yeah.
That's the easiest thing to overcome. There's 10 ways to overcome it. But if we feel comfortable with that, we do not have a problem sharing the comp plan.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's really interesting. Because I'm thinking about the number of times when people have they, for whatever reason, they shut down. You know, you go to a store and you expect the store to make money. And yet when somebody introduces you to an opportunity or a product, why is it that we have that hesitation to get engaged?
Because they're afraid. So I use that example all the time. Was this an MLM? Well, I don't know. When you went, and I use that example a lot. When you went to the store and you bought that shirt, did you go up and ask the company, if I buy this shirt, how much are you making? Well, no. So you wanted the shirt, so you bought it.
Right.
What does it matter what I get paid? Now, I'll full disclosure everything. Yes, you buy the education, I get paid $12,000. But from what you put your numbers in, you can have your home paid off 20 years earlier. On top of it, you're getting hosted in taxes. You want to save money in taxes. So if you could just pay your home off and learn how to save a ton of money in taxes every month, do you care what I get paid?
Right. Isn't it worth it?
Well, okay. You know, like when you go to the gas station, do you ask the gas station how much they're getting paid per gallon of gas? Well, no.
Exactly.
So isn't it awesome that I will actually disclose to you what it is and what I get paid instead of hiding it from you? They're like, well, yeah. And I'm like, so you want to buy the education, you want to learn how to do this. This is how much it is. This is how much I get paid. Isn't that cool? How many $12,000 checks would you like to get?
Right.
Yeah.
How many
$12,000 checks do you need to change your life?
And so like, but you can't be reserved when you say it. Like, well, I don't know. Like, you know, I don't want to go there. We'll talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
they're afraid.
Okay, now you just threw up 50 walls you have to break down.
Yeah.
Address it head on.
Yeah.
That's why I love bison. Buffalo.
When the storm comes, they go into the storm.
And one of my neighbors has a buffalo right up the street from my house. And every time during a storm, I go up and watch it.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It'll be laying there because it's not a big pen. Like, you know, it's only half-acre pen.
Yeah.
But he just walks up and just stares at the storm. It's the coolest thing.
That's cool, hilarious. Actually.
So
that
run
really
into
cool.
Don't be afraid. If you're afraid, guess what? You're going to create skepticism.
Yeah.
Now, everyone's skeptical to talk about it. And I'm like, are you freaking serious?
The only reason people are hesitant is probably usually that they've had a bad experience with some MLM, or they know somebody who had a bad experience with some MLM a long time ago or something, and they associate it as if...
I think they also take ownership. You know, if I'm an ICM, right, and I'm introducing somebody to the opportunity and they fail or they don't do anything with it, I take ownership of that. Yeah. And that's why I'm scared to share it, because I'm scared to own their results. And we need to get past that.
No, yeah, you can't be taking credit for somebody's successes or their failures.
Right.
And that's the biggest one.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one. And then here's the other thing. It's like, if you do it, like I talked with the people, because they want to start making more money. I said, every class, you go write down 3 to 4 takeaways. I said, I want you to write down 3 to 4 takeaways and you to write down 3 to 4 takeaways. So if you go to talk to somebody next week, they're like, well, how many real estate transactions have you done? Well, nothing. I just got started a week ago, but we are going to be able to knock off 6 years off of our mortgage. We're going to be able to do this, 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 and this. This is what I'm implementing. Sweet.
These are the conversations I'm having. Here are the things I've already learned how to do.
This is what I'm implementing already within a month, whatever it is. And if we just did that, I mean, we lose... It's sad to me how many millions of dollars we lose a month as a company because people won't follow up.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't want to address, is this an MLM? I don't know. Do you like MLMs? Yeah. No, I hate them. Awesome. You know, like you buy the education, you do real estate, you get all the profits.
Yeah, right.
Well, man, yes, I love MLMs. Awesome. You're going to love our comp plan.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? Like it's having the confidence and overcoming it. And when you have that confidence, doesn't matter. And if someone's not going to do that, they're going to have, well, I'm not going to do it because of the MLM. Awesome. Then you're not going to be successful in real estate anyway, because you'll find any excuse to not do it.
Yeah, that's the chainsaw joke, right? One guy goes up and asks his neighbor to borrow his chainsaw, and the neighbor goes, oh, no, sorry, I can't. The game's on. And the guy goes, well, why does that matter? I just want to use your chainsaw real quick. And the guy goes, well, it doesn't. But he said, I don't want to let you use my chainsaw, and one excuse is as good as another.
It's true.
Yeah, my neighbor ruined my chainsaw. I don't want to use my chainsaw anymore. Put the wrong gas in it, fried an $800 chainsaw. Boom, gone.
I don't.
And they didn't even tell me about it. So the next time I went to use it, then took it down. Yeah.
I don't like to, I mean, this is a side note, right? I don't like to lend stuff out because that kind of thing's happened a few times.
No, I've decided if I'm lending it out, I'm giving it to that person.
It has to be like that. But an $800 chainsaw is a little much.
I was a little frustrated on that one. But see, here's the other thing when we go back to the comp plan.
Yeah.
If they have something to work for, they're going to work harder. If I know they want to go get out of debt, I know they want to go on the trip, I know they want to do this. What does it talk about in that book? You remind your new marketing person, that affiliate with us at ICM, every 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks they're in, you should be reminding them of their golden dream every single day.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to drive them. That's what's going to do it. Now they feel safe. Now they have the tools. Now they'll go out and do it.
Yeah.
And I wish everybody was going to market. I wish everybody was going to be 5-star qualified. You know, some people don't. But I have... The same opportunity that I have is the same opportunity the people that came in today have.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have the exact same opportunity. I had to get 5-star qualified. They have to get 5-star qualified. Now I'm telling you, one of the dudes that's signing up, he's a good one.
I love it.
He makes awesome. Ron Williams look small.
All right.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, he knows Ron Williams. He runs now all the bodybuilding competitions here in the state. He knows all of them. The dude's gods are like.
That's awesome.
Side note: squirrel.
That's awesome.
No flaming gorge.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we need to cut that one out. So. Yeah, I just lost it all. It's gone.
Lost your train of thought.
Yeah, no. So the comp plan obviously really does house a lot of opportunity for individuals if they take it seriously. What are some of the tips and tricks that you give to individuals to really start tapping into their own motivation rather than relying on yours?
So when someone decides to market, I tell them this: my number one responsibility is to get you 5-star qualified. That's what Renatus has asked me to do. It's not to be your real estate mentor. You want to market, my number one responsibility is to get you 5-star qualified as fast as we can. We have the education. We have Coach Gavin. We have all these other things to help you. My number one job is this. How soon do you want to accomplish some of these goals and dreams? And then I try to break it down to the very simple things.
Right.
Here's what we got to do. Who do you know? Who do you know that you work with that would like to make more money? Write them down. Who do you know that owns a house? Who do you know that feels like they pay too much in taxes?
I don't pay enough.
Okay.
I just wish I paid more.
Okay, Jay, do this. Go in, look at your phone. How many contacts do you have? You're telling me there aren't 15 people in there right now that want what we have? You want to get out of debt? You have all the contacts right here. You have to give them value. If they don't see value, they won't come down. Right. So let's help people get value. So when I approach it, that's what I tell them. This is what my responsibility is. Here's what I'm here to do to help you. I also will usually throw in like little extra contests. Hey, you get this done in the next 90 days. Or someplace you've always wanted to go with your spouse. You want to go to the Grand America for 3 nights? Sweet. You do this in the next 3 months, the next 90 days. I'm paying, for you guys to go to the Grand America. I'm paying for you guys to go to the spa. Here's $2,500. You've always wanted to go to Hawaii. You've never gone to Hawaii. You get 5-star qualified in 90 days. Here's 5 Gs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We got to help people turn the goals and dreams into a reality. We love the people and use the money, not love the money and use the people.
Amen.
And so that's the way I try to approach it, because I'm not saying everyone has to contest with their people, but it goes back to, I try to do what Bob Snyder would do if he was here. I try to help more people. The more people we help, the more people we motivate. That's where that love comes in, and that's where people can see the love.
Yeah.
And if we're just motivated by the money instead of celebrating those goals and dreams, watching, the people going and swimming with dolphins for their first time, they start breaking that. That's a cool experience too, right? Watching people fulfill their goals and dreams. I think when I see him right now, him and his wife aren't active, but every time we talk about how they swam with the dolphins, and his wife just started crying swimming with the dolphins because it had always been their golden dreams.
Wow.
Now, there's that. Or, hey, they just went this first family trip. They just did this. They just did that. That's what you celebrate. Who cares about 40 grand?
Right.
This person just did this. This person just did that.
Yeah.
So we recognize, we share those experiences that people have. Hey, and it sounds crazy, but, when your kids hopped on the airplane, right, for the first time, how was it? This is how my kids felt, and they were so excited. That's what motivates me to go do it again. That's going to help somebody more than, we got to get you 12 grand.
Right.
It's helping other people see the goals, the dreams, the realities come true, that their drives being met. When they see that, they'll work for that.
It's that intangible becoming tangible again.
It's consistency.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing for those who reach their dreams and those who don't, is consistency. Yesterday, I listened to an awesome podcast, Andy Frischilla on the last 1,000 days.
Okay.
Awesome podcast. You're where you're at because of the work you've done the last 1,000 days.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right? And he goes through and he really talks about it. I believe in Renatus, what we're doing today is based off the work we did 60 to 90 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make 100 grand in the next 60 to 90 days. It's what we do today that's going to allow that to happen. We have to get that little momentum going, and it's easier when that momentum's going to keep it going than start, stop.
Yeah. Yep. You're sick of starting over, quit stopping.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One's enough.
No kidding.
I love when anybody asks me the question, how much is Renatus really worth to you? And I look at it and I go, well, in terms of dollars and cents, if we look at the dollars and cents that I've made, earned, or saved by applying the Renatus education, it's worth millions.
Can we rephrase that?
Sure.
How much has Whitney made?
You're a funny guy. Yes, my wife is the operator in our business.
Sorry.
Anyway,
I want to give credit where credit is due.
True that. And I did not.
I don't know if you guys have no clue how many times your story has helped me put an order in. I use your story all the time. Here's, stay-at-home mom, 6 kids under the age of 10. Realized fix and flips wasn't the strategy they wanted to do. Was able to go out and start picking up homes creatively using these other classes. Mm-hmm. Do you think it was convenient for her to say, let's go start doing creative acquisitions with 6 kids under the age of 10?
No.
It wasn't there, but now look at it. You think they're glad they still have 40 properties?
Oh, yeah.
50 properties, whatever your number is, right? You think get 30 properties, 10, whatever it is now, right? Do you think that's was a convenient time? No, but they went out, they did the work. If a stay-at-home mom, and I let them know, hey, he's the president of the company, or he was the 3rd employee in the company, right? Been with this for, so I go through all of that, but they're like, are you serious? I'm like, that's the power of this education. And you guys don't know it, but I share that story. Every presentation I do, I share what Whitney has done. Now, it's obviously been because of both of you, right? Because of you being all of that stuff. So I do give credit where credit's due. We put your shining picture up there, about everything you do for the company. I use it all the time. Yeah. Facts tell, the stories sell, right? So the more we can share that and the money it's made you can't put a dollar, you can put a dollar amount on it, but it's going to change next month.
Exactly.
So for me, when someone's like, well, what's it done for you? Can you put a dollar value on saving your son's life?
No.
What does it matter how much I made?
What it's about.
Renatus saved my boy's life. Renatus has helped my boys, their goals and dreams become a reality. It's helped them do so many things. It's why I go back. You have to love the people. That's why I don't care who I help. Does it get exhausting at times? Yes. Last night, after that house tour, freaking show up at 10 o'clock. On a day, I'll be honest, I didn't want to be there last night.
Yeah.
10 o'clock, sat down with someone, not under me, do a freaking follow-up for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because why? That's what Bob would want me to do.
That's what a real leader does.
And so that's, to me, I can't put a dollar amount on it. I can't put a dollar amount on what other people do with our education, what our students. I can't put a dollar amount. I go back to, Tracy when her daughter had liver failure.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she passed away 2 years ago, had liver failure, spent the last 6 months of her life with her every single day, only worked 1 or 2 days a week just to keep her job, paid her daughter's house, so she could still have a place to go home and live as she was passing away. Now she has basically had to adopt one grandson, is getting ready to adopt another grandson at the age of 69. And she went from making 80 to 90 grand to almost $250,000 a year. How can I say there's a price tag to that?
Yeah.
I just love her and want her to have her be successful. I can't put a price tag on that. What price tag can you put on somebody who's their daughter's passing away and you're able to be with them?
Yeah.
What experiences have your kids been able to do that they wouldn't have been able to do if you guys didn't make the income you made?
Right.
How many of those experiences are going to affect them for the last 20, 30 years of their life?
Yeah.
It's not about the money. It's what the money does.
Man, this has been a great opportunity to chat about the Renatus opportunity and about the way that Renatus really is designed to empower every single person who wants to get involved. And it's incredible to hear not just your passion for it, but also the stories that you have been a part of, that you have helped facilitate creating, the stories that you are regularly sharing. Because those, like you said, facts tell, stories sell. You are convincing people to get out of their own way by showing them examples of people who have succeeded, who have gone where they want to go. And I think that's so important to have that service-minded perspective, always looking to benefit the community, to benefit the family. That's That's just incredible. And then hearing you talk about the people's lives who have changed and about how you can't assign a price tag to having the flexibility to take the time that you need to accomplish whatever to help your family, to serve your family. You're absolutely right. You can't put a price tag on that.
You know, there's the one lady I told you about last night. She just started crying during the event because of what Renatus has done for her. Can't put a price tag on that.
Yeah.
And it is.
No, you can't.
And I was talking to this individual afterwards. I'm like, I need to record your testimonial. She's like, no. I said, well, I don't care what you say. We need to record your testimonial. She's like, why? And I said, everyone has a story to tell. I cannot tell that story that you share. People need to hear that story.
From her.
From you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you will be able to affect and help people that I never can. And the same thing over here. I can share things that you can never share.
Mm-hmm.
I said, if we work together, and all of a sudden, that's where it does. Because you're like, I don't have a story. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have a story? You have 40 years of experience. You want something different?
Yeah.
Everyone has a story to share.
Everybody's got a story.
We just have to learn how to package the story.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep, truly. Well, Richard, thank you for being with us today. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your service and your leadership. Thank you for taking care of the home team regularly, always getting us lunch and helping out. You are a phenomenal example, not just to me, but to so many people of what servant leadership truly looks like and what the benefits are long-term of being a committed, deliberate servant leader. So thank you for who you are in the family and in the world. You're a rock star.
Thank you.
Never forget, the reason why Renatus rocks is because of all of the people who are associated with us. That includes Mr. Matt Snyder. That includes Mr. Richard Stock. And of course, that includes every single one of you. Thanks for being with us. We will be back with you next week. Renatus rocks.